Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And Senator Bernie Sanders has offered his comments, thoughts, eulogy, praise of Nelson Mandela, who passed away yesterday. In the previous hour, he was there for the inauguration in 1994 of President Mandela. Professor Patrick Bond is with us. He is live from South Africa, the director of the Center for Civil Society, a political economist, senior professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal at the School of Development Studies in Durban, South Africa. He's the author of many books on South Africa, including his forthcoming South Africa, The Present as Histories, from Mrs. Ples to Mandela and Marikana. Professor Bond, welcome to the program.
It's very nice to be with you, Tom. Hello.
Thank you for joining us. We also have a link over at thomhartmann.com to your website and to the Center for Civil Society. You worked with President Mandela.
I did for two policy drafting opportunities. I was in his office in the Reconstruction and Development Ministry, to be precise, and it was a chance to really see the pressures that a great leader with enormous internal legitimacy, yet without the real material power in the world economy to shape the society's future in the way he wanted. So we often ask the question, was he pushed or did he jump by, although winning extraordinary gains in political democracy, getting rid of official racism, nevertheless in having to accept some very unfortunate compromises on the economic front. And that's why under his rule, South Africa actually became more unequal than even during apartheid. And it's a quandary for so many to understand, perhaps like many ask about Barack Obama's performance, was he pushed or did he jump?
Mm-hmm. And what are your thoughts on that? I mean, you were there.
Well, a bit of
you are there.
Both. I think, the big problem, of course, is managing a transition where on the political front with right-wing Afrikaners, the white racist government, they certainly had an extraordinary set of cadres throughout the government, especially in the military. And the film Invictus, based on John Carlin's novel, actually a nonfiction book, shows how Mandela was brilliant at using rugby to win the hearts and minds of those Afrikaner right-wingers, to, in a sense, defang them culturally. Yet, Mandela also had a sort of an eye for power, and he gazed upwards with admiration, perhaps more than deserved. And in that sense, there were a lot of people who came to South Africa when I was working in his office, 94, 95, 96, with a bit of snake oil. That was what we, in this country, called neoliberalism. I guess you call it, sort of free market fundamentalism. And it's the same sort of medicine that a kind of Larry Summers type might have sold to Bill Clinton and then ultimately Obama as well. That is just that if you let free market principles rule and if you open yourself to the world economy and liberalize finance, that all the rich people take their money out of the country, adopt free trade, somehow you'll do well. And that's unfortunately what Mandela came to believe, and he learned it at the World Economic Forum in Davos in 1992. He came back from that meeting and he said, chaps, let's not talk about nationalization of monopoly capital and banks and mines, the former Freedom Charter promise. And he often would refer to the sort of international experience. And although, as you pointed out at the beginning of the show, Tom, he did certainly not buy into George W. Bush's Iraq war. He nevertheless did try to, let me say, polish the chains rather than break the chains of the big global institutions, the IMF, the World Bank. He was always there to give them more legitimacy than I think they really did deserve.
Does your perspective, which is that Mandela, obviously, I mean, simply the end of apartheid and his becoming president was a radical and transformational and positive thing for South Africa. And then yet, when he became president, he basically was pushed around by the big money interests. I don't know how else to say that.
That's right. Well, that's right.
Is that a perspective that's shared across South Africa? What is the sense in South Africa right now? You're live with us from South Africa.
I think it is, in fact, and the great sadness in this country is partly that we didn't turn out with more equity, more ecological integrity, more social caring. And the reconciliation was rather skin deep, because although Mandela was very generous and certainly to white South Africans represented their kind of guy who was surprisingly, sort of conciliatory, didn't demand that the apartheid loot be returned, for example. In turn, whites never really have given back. There are some very interesting people. One of them is a white revolutionary called Ronnie Kasrils, who was the deputy defense minister under Mandela, and then the intelligence minister subsequently. And in June this year, he came out as a top ANC and indeed Communist Party official saying, frankly, we sold out. He said we signed a Faustian pact with big corporates, and that explains it. I do want to go back there just to remind that this kind of pressure, at least at the level of politics, could have turned out much worse, because Mandela was very, very strong in defending one person, one vote in a unitary state. That is, that everybody at least would have that vote. Certainly there were pressures on him to adopt more compromises, such as a sort of Jim Crow property-based voting.
Right.
Or,
like Maggie Thatcher, she tried to push a poll tax through in England. There were riots as a result of it.
Well, yeah, the South African pressures included many other black leaders that the apartheid regime promoted, who were Bantustan elites. They were homeland leaders. Or in the other races, the colored, the Indian races, they were also given second-class citizenship. So Mandela broke through that, and he did because there was such extraordinary strength of a huge anti-apartheid movement in civil society. So when the African National Congress and Mandela himself released in February 1990, they really came to power after about 4 years more of struggle, many thousands of people killed in that struggle by the white regime in its dying days. But they never gave up on one person, one vote. And to that end, everyone will always remember Mandela with that sense he really was a principled revolutionary at the level of politics. When it came to economics, when it came to environment, when it came to some of the socio-political aspects of building a better society, well, we all know we have to do better and to remember at least the principles of strong politics and apply them much further and deeper into the society.
Yeah. To what extent has South Africa continued down that neoliberal or so-called free market road, or has it turned away from it? Has South Africa gotten more economically / politically conservative or more liberal, more progressive?
Well, the pressures on the ruling class here, particularly the co-option, are extraordinary. You might have heard that there was a massacre of mine workers at a place called Marikana in August last year, and that led to, ironically, the man that was probably most responsible from the mining house, a man named Cyril Ramaphosa, formerly a great mine worker leader, and he sent emails to the police to say, "Come on in, we need reinforcements. This is a criminal, not a labor matter." And as a result, the premeditated massacre occurred. But then he was elected number 2 in the ruling party at their last convention, who will probably be the successor to the current president, Jacob Zuma. Corruption is certainly a big factor, and I think it's this mix of class formation in a context of outflow of capital. The most, I think, egregious mistake that Mandela made in 1999, just in his last year as the president, was letting the biggest companies in the country all move. One of them is the biggest brewery outside of Anheuser-Busch. It's called SAB Miller. It took over your Miller beer. Another one, Anglo-American, or I'm sure everyone knows the name De Beers. These big companies had apartheid loot, and unfortunately Nelson Mandela allowed them to relist, move their headquarters to New York, to Melbourne, Australia, and that's where this country's going.
So the money's just fleeing the country. Remarkable.
Yeah.
Professor Patrick Bond, thank you so much for being with us today, sir.
Thanks very much, Tom. Bye-bye.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Professor Patrick Bond of the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Durban, South Africa.